Guys, till our speaker and the attendees are joining, why not you guys share your experiences about the Take a Month 3.0 journey that we have covered till now? It would be a lot more amazing.
Now let us begin with the session as our speaker has arrived. A very good evening to one and all present here. This is your host Abhishek Dhyani and Aryan Malik, welcoming you all who have gathered here to grace our session Webology Hustle. On behalf of IEEE Chandigarh University student branch, it's my great pleasure and first and foremost duty to extend a warm welcome to everyone present here.
Aiming to assist students improve and strengthen their skills in the fields that are in demand. Take a Month 3.0 is a month-long event that will focus on technological activities, including research papers, patents, web development, Android development, blockchain, Web 3.0, and a lot more.
This event is being powered by the AICTE Spices Scheme and the IEEE Student SPX under the auspices of Asia's largest technical event, Tech Invent 2022.
So first of all, we are extremely privileged to welcome Ms. Shrishti Singh, who is the co-founder of a Web3 company, Unicus One. She is also the CEO of another Web3 firm, Block Miners. And the list doesn't even end here. She's a Web3 leader, a blockchain expert, a tech entrepreneur, and apart from these, she's into NFTs, metaverse, gaming, cryptos, and a lot more. So thank you, ma'am, for giving us your precious time. We are much obliged for that.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
We are also exhilarated to have with us all the department heads and faculty members for their valuable time by gracing our session with their presence. Now, I'd like to cordially invite Ms. Shrishti Singh to please come forward to please come forward and address the gathering.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Shrishti Singh. I've been into Web3 since last 3 years now. I started my journey as a blockchain developer, and I've worked for companies like Rapid Innovation, Nonce Blocks. And after a while, I realized that entrepreneurship is more of my thing. And then I started my own services company called Block Miners. At Block Miners, we provide anything and everything related to blockchain technology, be it smart contract development, smart contract auditing, NFT marketplaces, decentralization, etc. During this course of time, I got to realize that there's a huge disparity between the demand and supply of blockchain resources. So we came up with an idea of Unicus One. Unicus One is world's first Web3 as a service platform. through which we are wishing to bridge the gap between the Web 2 world and the Web 3 world by providing developer friendly, low code solutions. And today I'm going to speak about something I earn my bread and butter from, that is Web 3.0 and blockchain technology. So these are the points that would be covered throughout the presentation. You can have an overview. Yeah. So before getting started, let me know how many of you have heard of the term Web3. Is it an alien term for you, or have you heard of it? That's great. It's good to see that people across the globe are adapting Web3 at such a tremendous rate. Like, very few people understand the fundamentals of Web3. The reason being, Web3 is a very new technology, and the organic adaptation will take its time. This is what gives us the first movers advantage. Web3 is a new iteration of World Wide Web, which incorporates concepts such as decentralization and token based economics. Web3 is currently at a very nascent stage, but it is user centric approach, and the principle of decentralization is what makes it the next technical breakthrough. Why do we need Web3? So now as we are moving on, many of you must be pondering upon, we already have two iteration of Web 1 and Web 2. Why do we even need a third iteration? But in an era where everything has become tech enabled, the user wants the complete ownership of his action on the web. And Web 3 caters to this need. Web 1 is defined as read only. So you were only able to read whatever information is out there on the internet. When it came to Web 2, they allowed read and write, which means you were able to read and write, but the executions were still operated by a central authority. Web3 is the future of internet, and it is defined as read, write, and execute. That means the user has the control of all the operation and action he or she is taking. The shift to blockchain technology has made the web open, transparent, decentralized, and peer-to-peer. It provides aid to data security and privacy while avoiding the risk of hacking. Moving further to blockchain technology, most of the people consider Web3 and blockchain as synonyms, but they are not. Web3 is an iteration of Web, whereas blockchain is an underlying technology of Web3. A blockchain is basically a distributed database that is shared among nodes of different computers. Like, it's a computer network, and all of them are linked together like a linked list. And that's what makes the blockchain. As new data comes in, there's a fresh block being mined. Once the block is being filled, another block is being generated, and the last block is being changed to the previous blocks that are existing. So this makes a chronological order. So in this particular picture right here, you can see different blocks being chained together. And this what makes the blockchain. Moving on to what is a dApp. So before moving on to the dApp, I'd like to ask how many of you are into web development? You all are IT students. You must be aware of what web development is. That's great. That's great. So, like any other traditional website, there's a front end, there's a back end, and there are APIs communicating between these two. When it comes to a dApp or a decentralized application, the front end is the same, which is the HTML, CSS, JavaScript code. The back end is being replaced by the blockchain or the smart contract. And then as APIs, it becomes given provider or Web3 provider, which you can see right here in this diagram. The front end, which is the client side, the server side is the blockchain, which is a public ledger, and in between, this is MetaMask. There's one kind of a crypto wallet, and this acts as a link between the front end and the back end. So decentralized applications are digital applications that run and execute on blockchain or peer-to-peer network. So what are the benefits of decentralized application? How is it different from other traditional Web 2 applications out there? So there's a high fault tolerance. In the Web 2 application, all the code is being hosted at one server. It's just one particular server. On blockchain, Everything is a distributed public ledger. So even if one node or one block of the blockchain is faulty, hacking it is next to impossible, as the hacker would be never able to hack more than 51% of the blocks present out there, which increases the security to many folds. Data integrity, whatever data is being stored on blockchain is basically immutable. And what immutable means is, once you have entered the data, once you have fed the blockchain with one data, that cannot be changed. That is a record on the blockchain which is always there. No one can remove that, which provides data integrity. Flexible platform, there could be lots of different kinds of dapps being developed on blockchains. And user privacy. So, in any Web2 application, when you browse through, be it a ticketing platform, you want to book tickets, you want to watch a movie, you need to provide your email ID, your personal details, your name and stuff. But when it comes to a decentralized application, your wallet address, which is basically an encrypted form of your identity, is being revealed to the other person. So I am Shrishti Singh on the Web2 world, but I may not be that on Web3 world. I'm just 0x123456. So that provides users some privacy and ability to surf through internet without leaking their personal data. There could be various types of dApps available. There could be decentralized finance, web browsing, gaming, social media, NFT marketplaces. So you can use your creativity while you're creating different dApps. Now, moving on to the burst term. So, cryptocurrencies. I guess I need not guess that. I'm sure you must have heard of what cryptocurrency is. It is a buzz term, and I guess most of you must be investing or holding few cryptocurrencies as well. Let me know in the chat section if you hold any cryptocurrency, or what is your favorite cryptocurrency. Yeah. So moving on, a cryptocurrency is an encrypted data string that denotes a unit of currency. So like any other unit of currency, INR, USD, cryptocurrency is one. So if I am paying you for something like $100, I could even pay in a Bitcoin. I could pay 0.0001 Bitcoin. Right? It's a medium of exchange. It's a medium of currency. It is being monitored and organized by the blockchain. That again adds to the, all the perks of being blockchain. All the perks of blockchain are being added to the security of cryptocurrencies. And cryptocurrencies are basically fungible, so each one of them are alike. So these are a few list of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, BNB. So each one of them is same. That means each one of them are fungible. Moving on to NFTs, all the creative heads out here, if you draw, if you paint, if you sync, if you click pictures, you must consider creating your artwork into an NFT. This picture, which you see right here, is worth millions. An NFT is basically a unique and a non interchangeable unit of data stored on the digital ledger. So, when I say non interchangeable, each NFT is unique. It cannot be interchanged with any other NFT. And any photo, any video, any audio, or any digital file could be converted into an NFT. And there are lots of real world use cases going around with NFTs. We at Block Miners and Unicus One are working together with few, like tokenizing the movie tickets or event tickets, tokenizing the hotel room booking, tokenizing real estate. So there are lots of real world problems being solved by these use cases of blockchains as well. So these are example of few NFTs. You must have heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club. This is Monster Ape Club. So yeah, moving on to Metaverse. Metaverse is basically a network of 3D virtual world focused on social connection. And it can be defined as a stimulated digital environment that uses augmented reality, virtual reality, and blockchain. Talking about AR and VR, this is not the first time we are experiencing AR VR. We have played various games, we have had various experiences of AR VR, but it was never like a different, like metaverse created a different buzz around the world. That is because of blockchain technology. All the blockchain all the perks of blockchain technology when added to the existing experience of AR and VR makes a metaverse, and it provides user the liberty to use any identity they want and still experience the social world with the technologies. Also, few people believe that metaverse is not a place, it's a point in time where the artificial intelligence becomes greater than the human intelligence. And this is worth thinking. Yeah. Moving on, perks of becoming a blockchain developer. Have you ever considered becoming a blockchain developer? If not, let me tell you why you should. First of all, high demand. As Web3 blockchain being a very nascent technology, very few people know how to operate that. Very few people know what smart contract is. Very few people know what Web3.js is. Very few people know what Solidity is. So the demand is very high, but the supply of resources is very less. And this is what creates, the economic, a strong economy. So when we talk about pay range of blockchain developers, that is very high as compared to the conventional or traditional jobs out there. Also, ability to teach others. So as you become aware of how blockchain works, you can even tell others, like, this is how blockchain works, this is how you write a smart contract, this is how you mint an NFT, this is how you mint a token. Also, improve digital identity and security, innovate. Unlike other web 2 world, it's not saturated, it's a very early stage, there are lots of room for innovation. You can come in, you can think of use cases, you can innovate lots of stuff. Also, contribute to a new age technology. You should take first movers advantage, you should learn about it and move towards it. Also, interact with people across the globe. So I personally get to interact with people across the globe. As a blockchain developer, you will get that too. Moving on to the roadmap to become a blockchain developer. The first point being, get proficient with the required tech stack. Programming languages, irrespective of the domain you are in, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, whatsoever. The basics, the fundamentals of programming should be crystal clear. The logic building ability should be crystal clear, especially when it comes to smart contract. So, smart contract code is unlike any other code. Storing data on smart contracts, incurs some fee. It is expensive, right? It needs to be very optimized. So you should know what data structure to use. You should know how to program, how to build logic so that the complexity could be decreased to the lowest and optimization should be the maximum. You should know about databases and networking, cryptography, how our transaction hash is being created, how the digital identity is being hashed, encryption and decryption, different algorithms like RSA algorithm. These terms you should be aware of. Moving on, understand the basics of blockchain. The fundamentals of blockchain is very important to be understood. The consensus algorithm, the hash function, distributed ledger, the advantages which blockchain has over other technologies. Also, cryptonomics, such as transaction fees, how a transaction goes through a blockchain. Why do we even pay a fee to call a function on blockchain? Every time a function on blockchain is being called, a send function, a fee has to be paid, and that is a literal fees. You have to pay in some kind of cryptocurrency, which is the platform coin. Why is that even chart? You need to understand these basic things. What are mining? What do we mean when we say we are mining Bitcoin, we are mining Ethereum? What does that mean? How does the transaction goes through? So these are the basic fundamentals which should be clear since day one. Get knowledge of Ethereum and dApps. Ethereum is one of the most famous blockchain, and it is one of the most user friendly or developer friendly blockchain. So I would recommend you to get started with Ethereum first instead of any substrate based blockchain. Learn about smart contracts. So smart contract is basically a piece of code which is stored on the blockchain and automatically execute a particular function, transaction based on if the terms and conditions are fulfilled. So if I have coded onto the smart contract that I'll mint an NFT at your wallet once you transfer me 100 USDT. Once I receive 100 USDT, an NFT will definitely get minted to your wallet. So this is how the smart contract is being programmed. Every time a transaction happens, it has an consequences. It could be change of data of a variable, it could be transfer of funds, it could be minting of a token, an NFT. So yeah, for smart contract on Ethereum virtual machine, which is Ethereum based blockchains, we used Solidity as the programming language. And the last point is get some hands-on experience. So theoretical knowledge, having theoretical knowledge is good, but having practical knowledge is far more important. So even if you understand basics of blockchain, try copy pasting a smart contract on Remix. Try going through the lines of code. Try understanding the functions, understanding the variables. That will help you much more as compared to reading, white papers and documentations. Then let's know more about Solidity. Solidity, again, as I told you, is a smart programming language used to write smart contract. It's a object oriented high level language for implementing the smart contracts. Also, it's a curly bracket language. Solidity is statically typed, supports inheritance, libraries, and complex user defined types. So it's very similar to JavaScript. If you know basics of JavaScript, it would be very easy for you to adapt to Solidity. Moving on to fungible tokens, we already discussed what cryptocurrencies are, and each cryptocurrency is alike. So if I have one BNB, it is same as the other BNB out there at somewhere else's address. So the standard which Ethereum has introduced for maintaining fungible token is ERC20 standard. You can refer to Open Zeppelin code for that. So ERC20 standard is a standard defined. So whenever we need to make a fungible token, we need to follow a standard. Like a particular set of functions should be there in that particular code. Like the transfer function getting balance by the balance of function, getting supply of the token by total supply function, approving the token so that someone else could use it on your behalf. So these standards or the functions are being defined in ERC20 standards. And moving on to what are non-fungible tokens and ERC 721 standard. So ERC 721 standard is for non-fungible token or NFTs. Similar to ERC20 standards, a set of functions are being defined. The fact about ERC 721 is that with each NFT, a particular token ID is associated, which is a numeric value. So I have an NFT, the token ID could be one. Second NFT, it would be two, three, four. It could be random or serial wise as well. So yeah, for every NFT, there's a particular token ID, and then again, there's a set of function, transfer function, balance of function, different functions are there out there. Moving on to semi-fungible token. So we haven't discussed about semi-fungible yet. Semi-fungible is basically a mixture of both fungible token and non-fungible token. So it's a mixture of ERC20 plus ERC 721. So similar to 721, there could be multiple IDs like 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple ID of tokens. But unlike 721, where the total supply of each token, like there could be only one NFT of ID1 on 721, but in 1155 there could be multiple NFTs of ID1 in 1155. So I have ID1, I have 100 copies, so those are all fungible. All the ID1s are fungible, but ID1 and 2 are non-fungible, they cannot be interchanged. So this is how 1155 standard operates. Now, moving on to kickstart your journey, get some hands on experience, visit Remix. Remix is basically you must be using Visual Code for coding your web development or any other program. For Solidity, the most developer friendly or beginner friendly is Remix. Move on to Remix, write a smart contract. You can refer to Open Zeppelin contract, that's a public contract. Set up your crypto wallet. So MetaMask wallet extension is a wallet which you can use, and add some test funds. So there are lots of faucets out there which through which you can get some Ethereum. That would be fake Ethereum basically, but on testnet that works. Deploy your smart contract and then build cool stuff. Try to tokenize your picture. You have a picture, try to make it an NFT. Try to mint a token with your name. The first contract which I did was basically a Shrishti token. So you can try doing these cool stuff that would help you engage with the process a lot. thank you so much. That was it from my side.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a knowledgeable session. And certainly, your address goes a long way in inspiring us to strive hard and achieve more in life.
Thank you. Yeah, so any question you can come up with that. Feel free to ask them.
Definitely, ma'am. We are going with the Q&A session.
Yes, so the students having doubts and queries can put their questions in the chat box.
Okay, one second. Can you teach me Web3 programming and hire in your startup? Sure, you can. Let me just drop the email ID. You can drop your resumes here. The HR department will contact you. White papers too. Ma'am, is cryptography related? Yeah, cryptography is kind of related to blockchain because everything which you see on the blockchain is kind of encrypted or decrypted. Even your address is encryption of certain data from your system. That might not be your personal data, but your IP address and stuff. And so any source to learn, yeah, you can just type in learn solidity on Google. There are lots of blogs and YouTube videos. I like Eat the Blocks, DAP University on YouTube, and then solidity web3.js. You can search in for that. What is the role of AI in Web3? See, these are two different modules. By combining two, trending technologies, lots of things could be innovated. So we can incorporate AI in Web3, but nothing fundamental is related to artificial intelligence. But in metaverse, we have seen lots of application in which different trending technologies are being IoT, AI, and stuff. So we can definitely combine them and build something cool. Can we create our own cryptocurrency? Yeah, definitely, definitely. It takes lesser than 2 minutes once you learn how to create your cryptocurrency. Why we need meta words? Why do you need to play games? Enjoy. So yeah, like just to enjoy. The best thing I like about my metaverse or Web3 is that there's a token based economy being created. Even children, 14-year-old kids are playing games like Xe Infinity, joining guilds and earning thousands of dollars, right? So yeah, from a small age, along with enjoying, once you start learning few things, you could easily monetize that. And we as Indians should leverage that because people around the globe are adapting it and making money out of it. Why should be we left behind? What level of proficiency in coding to not level as such. Once you understand the basics and the basics syntax of solidity, you can get started. But yeah, solidity is kind of a sensitive language, as I told you, because storing data on blockchain or a blockchain transaction actually takes some kind of gas fees. So when you operate a JavaScript code, front end and back end code, it doesn't require any money to be paid. Even if there are lots of for loops going on in the code, that doesn't harm monetary, that might hamper the user experience. But there's no there's not being a particular amount of gas being charged. But when it comes to blockchain, every transaction requires some amount of gas fees. We need to lessen it as much as possible. That's why you need to understand the fundamentals first. Then
Excuse me,
see
ma'am.
it. Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you in between. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
one of our student had a question when you were teaching in the session,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a quite interesting one for everybody wants to know that. Like in the
Yeah.
contemporary world, blockchain is one of the booming technologies.
Mm-hmm.
So there has been a shift from Web 2.0, that was a server centralized technology, to Web 3.0, that is more inclined towards decentralization. So how
Correct.
do you see the future of decentralization? And there should be a agreement between multiple stakeholders than a single body. So what are the pros and cons that we see about decentralization?
See, when you talk about the agreement between different stakeholders, I don't know if you have heard of what DAO is. decentralized autonomous organization. Basically, whatever, like the parliament works, right? That particular kind of system has been developed in a DAO. So so if I launch a project, I have XYZ token associated with it. Depending on how much you stake the tokens, suppose there are three people out there, you stake 100, the other one stakes 10, so definitely you believe in my project more as compared to the other one, right? So you would be a major stakeholder there, and that has been achieved by decentralized autonomous organization. So you can consider that when it comes to an agreement. I know have having the real world identity from the user is very important, but for that as well we have different modules in Solidity. As you deep dive into Solidity, you will get to know various standards. So ERC 725 and ERC 731 is identity protocol, which helps us encrypt the real world identity along with our cryptographic identity, and then that could be used by multiple platforms. So that in a way helps both user and the platform. The platform has verified, it's kind of a KYC, know your customer. They have verified that yeah, there's a web 2 identity of that particular person, and then I hold my own decentralized you know authority. So yeah, I hope that question answer your question.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah,
So, ma'am, I have one question.
sure.
How is Bitcoin blockchain different from Ethereum blockchain?
So Bitcoin blockchain is an enterprise blockchain, right? It was, when we see Bitcoin, if you read the white paper, the first and foremost and the most important use case of Bitcoin left out there is as a medium of exchange. When you see famous entrepreneurs like multimillionaires and billionaires out there, they take payments in Bitcoin. But all the dApps and applications, Ethereum was solely built to innovate or bring more technical projects or application towards that. Ethereum is for development, that is very inclined towards that because it's very developer friendly, lots of standards being introduced. I named like 20 ERC 20, ERC 721, 1155, EIP 2198, 722. These are all modules being developed by Ethereum to make it more developer friendly. So when we want to develop, we consider using Ethereum, but as a medium of exchange, Bitcoin is being preferred because total supply is limited, and there are lots of benefits of using Bitcoin as well.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Next
Why?
question asked by our yes, ma'am. You can proceed further.
Yeah. Please.
So next question that was asked by our attendees that there is a wave of startups in India. There is wave of jobs and internships for freshers. So do you think that blockchain would be able to replace cloud computing in any case, or it will back the clouds?
See, blockchain is not here to replace anything except the traditional Web 2 which is going on. And cloud is very different from blockchain. We have cr.tech. If you see, that is a combination of both cloud and blockchain, right? So I told you, combining two trending technology, lots of innovative things could be built. It's not like that we are comparing two technologies or we are competing against each other. So yeah, that's the case.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
So there is one more question in the chat box. What is distributed autonomous agent? Is it a shortcoming of blockchain?
Not exactly. So basically, when you say autonomous agent, it's, as I explained you what DAO is, right? So it's basically a distributed autonomous organization. So basically, similar to organization, they could be agents as well, but that we cannot consider as a threat, because that is a use case which the blockchain itself has created, considering all the perks of blockchain being stored there, right? So that cannot be considered as a evil part of the blockchain.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
We have questions popping up continuously, and students are really very curious about blockchain and knowing more about it. So, one more question is there that what is the contribution of blockchain in share market? How will it affect?
Not exactly. See, share market is very different from how cryptocurrencies work. At the end of the day, the fundamentals is same because we are trading something. We are trading an entity, and the thing which decides the price of any entity is the demand and supply. When it comes to the share market, most of the things are hidden. You don't know how many shares are being traded from behind, right? But when it comes to blockchain, a decentralized exchange, there's a DEX contract, there's a router, there's a factory contract, there's a liquidity pool. Everything that happens is kind of decentralized, and everything is very transparent. If someone across the globe trades 100 USDT for 100 1 Bitcoin or anything, I would be able to see that, and I would be able to see the eventual price drop as well, right? So this is the transparency is something which adds value, and that is the most important thing. Share market is like nowhere related to it, but yeah, the concept of trading is similar for both of them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Questions are popping continuously, ma'am. And we have another question that why we should trust cryptocurrency when we have national currencies? Because we have seen in the past experiences that the value of cryptos have actually fluctuated a lot. So why there is a need to trust on these platforms basically?
Correct. So yeah, that makes sense. I would recommend everyone out there to read Rich Dad and Poor Dad. That would help you understand the basics of money, and how the prices, how the assets and liabilities work. Basically, if you're talking about national currencies, that is fiat. The government could print infinite number of INR. But cryptocurrencies, if we talk about Bitcoin, 21 billion Bitcoin, hard stop there. No one can mint any further. If you own one Bitcoin, 30 or 20 years down the lane, you are one of the most richest person out there, I can assure you that, right? So you need to understand the fluctuation is short term. If you see the long term graph of any cryptocurrency or any asset which has proven to be beneficial for the user, be it real estate or anything, ups and downs are there, and that is healthy market movement. It could never be up and up and up, right? That is for sure, that should be there. You should, if you are investing or trading, I'm not even talking about trading, that is a risky thing. Even until unless you're not aware of technical analysis, you're not aware of how price action works, don't try trading. But if you're investing in something, make sure you understand the fundamental, and make sure you believe in that. If I'm holding Ethereum, I know even if I bought at 5,000 and it is at 1,000 rupees, I know someday it will go to 10,000. So that belief should be there.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And ma'am, one more question. Like you can say that in the coming time, blockchain technology is going to be used in all sort of fields, but there are some limitations like transaction speed. So, do you think this technology will thrive when the network becomes huge?
Yeah, definitely. See, I told you it's a very new technology, and people are working to scale on it. If we talk about Polygon is an Indian startup. Basically, they have shifted to Dubai right now. But the fundamental idea which they started up with was scaling the Ethereum network. Ethereum network, the congestion is too much because the adoption rate has been higher as expected. As compared to other technologies, the adoption of Web3 is like a boom. No one expected that. And Ethereum merge is coming up. We must be seeing something very good with that. So every day experts and researchers are working on scaling blockchain, and definitely we'd be able to become an enterprise solution in near future.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
That is going a really interactive session. Our students, our attendees are actually very interested in blockchain. So there is another question that we have talked about decentralization, and definitely it's much more secure. But don't you think that it will make Web3 as more regulating and monitoring? Like if we have to monitor Web3, it would be difficult.
See, again, as I told you, monitoring. If you need the user personal, data of the user, you can take their consent and then store it. Mandate keeping that mandatory. If you log into a website and they pop up like you need to sign up, that is a turn off. I don't want to reveal my email ID, right? That is a liberty for the user. even on many in many applications in the web3 side as well, which we built, we take email IDs and password as well. But that is upon the user. They have a liberty. If they don't have a crypto wallet, they can opt for that. But making it mandatory that no, you need to provide your email ID and then we'll spam you with the newsletter, that is not something which I would recommend. So yeah, that is,
Thank you, ma'am.
yeah.
So there are like plenty of questions in the chat box, and like children are, students are so curious about it. I have one more question here. Can a blockchain be hosting on distributed system, or is it compulsory for all servers or clients to have complete replicas of the blockchain to retain its expected benefits like security?
So yeah, if you want to have a separate networks or servers, then you need to have your own node set up, a new kind of a blockchain you can fork it. But yeah, if you are working on a public blockchain, if we talk about Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, if you're working on a public blockchain, you're doing transactions there, then yeah, it is necessary to link the nodes which you're creating with the other existing nodes out there.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have another question. That blockchain is booming. We all know that. And one of a person is
Mhm.
asking what is the contribution of blockchain in share market. And in India, like we don't have so much jobs right now. So how
Hmm.
a fresher will survive with all the skills?
Mhm.
What are the things that he can do? So can you please put a light on that?
See, the when it comes to share market, I've already answered that. Like it's not related, but yeah, somewhat like the trading system is alike. When it comes to job, it's a very good question. Like the employment in India is legit, but according to me, the only thing that matters for you to get land a job is curiosity to learn. Right. When I entered Web3, this is my personal experience. I didn't have any idea of what Web3 or what blockchain, what even exact coding, or I was not a coder at that point of time. But I landed an internship, and blockchain jobs even pay you to learn. Right, I was getting paid like 15,000 per month to learn what blockchain is. I did that internship, and my learning curve was quite less because I'm a fast learner. So I learned it very quickly. I did many jobs after that. And so the first step is very important. You need to strive through to get, it wasn't easy for me as well. I was just browsing through different internship. I was lucky, fortunate enough to land one. But it was not like that it just fell onto my hands. I was browsing through LinkedIn, I was going through different sites. That is something, that effort you have to put. Instead of browsing internet or going through social media posts, sometime you should consider towards that as well. And anything, this is like a very cliche sentence, but anything which you do, make sure you put your blood, sweat and tear into it. When it comes to block miners, we used to work from the morning till 4 or 5 at the night. And the hustle culture is being considered as toxic, but that is kind of important if you want to become extraordinary. So I if I have been called here, that was for a reason, because I've put that kind of effort. So yeah, make sure you do that.
Thank you much. Thank you, ma'am. It was so inspiring.
Yes, ma'am, and it is really motivating for all of us that hard work definitely pays off very well. And with that, I have one more question in the chat box. Can cryptocurrency still be mined via GPUs?
Yeah, definitely. If a simple laptop could be used to mine. If you're mining a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, you need a more costly infrastructure. But yeah, different cryptocurrencies have different setups.
Thank you, ma'am.
And ma'am, how we see blockchain in digital protection and cybersecurity? How much it proved fruitful in these fields?
See, security itself is one of the for first and foremost perks of having blockchain. So the fact that the backend is being replaced by smart contracts are basically a piece of code which is immutable. Once you write it, that cannot be changed, but a smart contract should be well audited. Like we do BAPT testing for APIs and backend, a similar kind of testing is done for smart contract as well, which is smart contract auditing. That multiple kinds of auditing is there: manual, test cases, automated auditing using tools like Slither and Lithril. So yeah, so that auditing is very important. Once the smart contract is audited and there are no vulnerabilities, it's next to impossible to hack a blockchain system. So that level of security is added and that cannot be hampered.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was so much fruitful for even us and for all the attendees that are listening right now. So thank you so much for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for such an insightful session. And now I would like to invite Mr. Weber Mr. Weber to address for the vote of thanks and to present the token of appreciation. He is the chairperson of IEEE CS Society.
Hi, ma'am, Babu this side, and I truly believe that this session was really a wonderful session for all of us. So, on behalf of whole IEEE Chandigarh University, I would like to present you a vote of thanks. Kindly, team, can you share token of appreciation? Sarthak, I believe that your screen is freezed right now. So, can you just zoom it out? Or anyone else from the technical team, kindly share the screen, please.
Hey, is it visible now?
Yeah, sure. So thanks a lot, ma'am. This is small token of appreciation from our end. And I truly believe that it was really, really a wonderful session for all of us. And almost all the participants have enjoyed your session, including me also, when I feel that the technology you have discussed was really great. And it was really honor for all of us, all the student participants, all the bankers and all, to listen you and know about so many trending things coming in the market. So a big heartiest thanks from all of our side. Soon I believe that we are also going to have you as a speaker in the offline session. Will it be fine, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
So we'll be in touch for other further collaborations also. So once
Thank
again, a
you.
big thank from our end, ma'am.
Thank you. It was a lovely session. Thank you for participating. It was like an engaging audience is such a motivation for the speaker. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.